In the world of HR compliance professionals and practitioners, navigating the annual pathway of managing an affirmative action program is no small feat. It's a complex journey with many moving parts, from project kickoff to establishing, monitoring, evaluating, and communicating planned goals. Let's take a look at the key responsibilities across 7 major areas of practice, from developing a plan to revisiting your selection procedures and delivering training. To start your program, begin by assembling your project teams and scheduling a kickoff meeting to establish objectives and timelines. At this stage, it's essential to develop a comprehensive written affirmative action plan, commonly referred to as the narrative, that clearly articulates the organization's commitment to equal employment opportunities, diversity, and inclusion. Ensure that this plan is supported by written internal policies and practices aligned with equal employment opportunities and affirmative action regulations. It's imperative that the plan complies with relevant local, state, and federal laws governing affirmative action. Following your kickoff, it's time for analysis. Start by establishing job groups or job families to facilitate comparisons between similar positions during data analysis. Conduct a thorough examination of your current workforce, focusing on aspects such as current representation, areas of underrepresentation in comparison to availability, employee compensation, selection rates for employment activities, and overall workforce trends. This analysis will provide valuable insights into your organization, helping to identify areas for improvement and recognize strengths. With your workforce data in hand, it's time to look at benchmarks and establish goals for the next period. Start by setting specific placement goals for females and minorities in job groups where underrepresentation is identified, considering both internal and external availability. Additionally, review the utilization of individuals with disabilities in each job group to pinpoint areas where representation falls below the published benchmark. Lastly, track protected veteran hiring and compare it to published benchmarks to ensure alignment with affirmative action laws and regulations. Outreach and good faith efforts are fundamental elements of your program, ensuring a continuous flow of qualified candidates for recruitment consideration. It is essential that your organization implements proactive recruitment strategies aimed at attracting a diverse pool of candidates, including executing targeted outreach efforts to underrepresented groups. Additionally, establishing partnerships with diversity-focused organizations and educational institutions can enhance recruitment efforts. It's essential to regularly evaluate and adjust recruitment sources and methods to ensure maximum effectiveness and better inclusion outcomes. This includes measuring the effectiveness of various recruitment activities to ensure they contribute meaningfully to the organization's diversity and placement goals. It's important to remember that outreach efforts aren't only limited to external outreach, but internal efforts as well. Initiatives such as mentorship programs, training opportunities, benefit programs, and company participation in community-based programs can also be effective in creating an inclusive and positive environment for your workforce. Once candidates are directed toward your organization, it's crucial to ensure that they enter a fair process that increases the likelihood of achieving your goals. This involves reviewing and revising selection criteria, practices, and procedures to minimize bias and ensure fair evaluation of both external and internal candidates. Providing equal opportunities for training, advancement, and promotion within the organization is essential, as well as regularly reviewing selection rates for hires, promotions, and terminations to address any job groups experiencing adverse impact. Additionally, be sure to review job descriptions to assess mental and physical qualifications and make necessary updates as needed. Federal contractors have an obligation to deliver training and disseminate information on specific topics, ensuring their workforce comprehends organizational objectives. This entails conducting EEO, affirmative action, and Section 503 training for employees, including managers, recruiters, and anyone engaged in the selection process. Providing diversity and inclusion training further supports overall inclusion efforts, as well as tailoring training to align with industry, local, and state laws as needed. Be sure to communicate affirmative action initiatives to employees, stakeholders, and the public to promote transparency and accountability. Furthermore, establish channels for employees to voice concerns or report potential discrimination to foster a culture of trust and accountability within the organization. To ensure the ongoing improvement and effectiveness of your affirmative action program, it's crucial to engage in periodic review, reporting, monitoring, and evaluation. This involves reviewing and revising selection criteria, practices, and procedures to minimize bias and ensure fair evaluation of both external and internal candidates. Providing equal opportunities for training, advancement, and promotion within the organization further supports these efforts. Ensure that your organization is regularly reviewing selection rates for hires, promotions, and terminations to identify and address any job groups experiencing adverse impact. Additionally, review job descriptions to assess mental and physical qualifications and maintain accurate records related to affirmative action efforts, including workforce data, recruitment activities, employment transactions, and progress toward goals. Prepare required reports as mandated by applicable laws and regulations, and assess the effectiveness of affirmative action initiatives to prompt any necessary adjustments. Furthermore, ensure that your organization has reviewed its progress toward placement goals, addressed areas of adverse impact, and monitored and evaluated the impact of policies and practices on workforce diversity and inclusion. Determine if your organization has conducted internal audits to ensure compliance with affirmative action requirements. Additionally, review compensation and compensation practices, making sure that appropriate documentation and support are accessible, and addressing areas of concern to remedy statistically significant disparities. Discover how Affirmative can help you prepare and optimize your affirmative action program. Check out our affirmative action planning software and services on our website, or contact us for more information.